ち向かって恐れないで絶望に怯えずに今
Hello everyone, this is Jake and Jordan from Down the Weeble Hole, and today we're going to be doing something a little different. Today we're going to be talking about Season 2, well the first half, of ReZero, which came out last season. Jordan, what do you think of it so far?
I like how we stayed pretty much in the same setting for the entire season. We didn't really hop around like we did in the previous season in the first 24 episodes. We were just stuck in the sanctuary, and I guess the moments where Subaru goes back to the mansion as well. But I really liked that we were pretty much in the same place, and it's just Subaru trying to figure out what's going on and really trying to get through all the trials and help Emilia, essentially. We got a lot more of Emilia this season, which I'm sure you're happy about.
I'm very happy. You know why? Because Rem was in a coma since episode 1, and I was just clapping. I was like, this is wonderful. This is going to be a good season.
To be fair, we got great new girls this season, so I'm not upset. I'm not even upset that Rem was in a coma. I'm not even upset.
Yeah, we got some great new characters introduced, and I really liked this season. I thought it was really interesting.
We got a new focus on Otto as a character as well.
Otto definitely becomes best boy at the end, for sure.
Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
I don't know how I feel about being stuck in the sanctuary the entire time. I liked it. It reminded me of the mansion from last season.
Yeah.
Where we were stuck there for a good amount of time. Mm-hmm. I do enjoy that it feels like a real trial, that like him trying to accomplish this, because Subaru fails like how many times?
Too many.
8, 9 in this season? Like
yeah, it's
every
crazy.
episode. And like it was like an ordeal to get through. But we did get some like awesome backstory for him, which I'm really appreciate.
Yeah, I like that we got to see him back at home. I think that was one of the best episodes of the entire season, honestly, was him getting to see his parents and confront them and speak with them about how he was before he actually got transported to this new world.
I have a bit of an issue with it because it's him seeing what he thinks his parent sees, right?
I'm not sure if that's exactly what's going on. I don't think it's just all in his head. I think it's like a solid recreation of exactly how they are by Echidna, based on what she knows, right? Because she has as much knowledge or more knowledge than anybody in the world, because she's the Witch of Greed.
But the way I see you, let's say I'm talking about like seeing you,
yeah.
The way I see you is going to be different than how you actually are.
To a certain extent.
To a certain extent, for sure.
But there's a subconscious level that you're not in control of, right? When you're remembering me, there's certain things that you'll say actively or just by compulsion, but there are also instances of the way that I act that are hidden in your subconscious so that you know me better, right?
Yes, like we were playing Among Us like last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And like I could tell when Jordan was lying just by like the way he spoke, just because I knew him so well.
But if I asked you on a random day, how can you tell that I'm lying? You probably wouldn't be able to pick out specific reasons as to why.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So
exactly. It's just like subconscious and just like knowing the person. So I understand that. But I agree with you. Like the backstory of seeing Subaru was like, because he's a NEET. He like becomes a NEET kind of. Mm-hmm. Like he's still going to school, but like he stops.
I like the reason why as well, because he's always compared to his father.
Yeah.
And like nobody's there for him anymore.
He has like no one to like rely on him, kind of, and no one really cares about him. I feel like he finds.
Yeah, I think he built that image right in his
up
head
for himself. Like he wants to be the hero. He wants to be like this brave, heroic person. And when he saw that like no one actually cares if he is or not, that like kind of broke him down. And I like that he was mad at his parents for not like pushing him or like treating him badly, and they were just like loving to him. Because sometimes you need that, like when you're at that moment in your life, sometimes you need a push. His parents weren't pushing him.
And I think the last scene of the season really hammers that in, with Otto being there for him and saying you don't have to do everything alone when he punches him. So I think that was a really good tie-in. I really liked that episode. That episode I almost broke down because it was so good. The talks that he had with his dad and his mom in individual sequences was really very wholesome.
Yeah, because I really loved that he had a moment with both of them, and it wasn't just like, I'm confronting my dad about like how I'm treated. Like some anime, they just focus on one parent.
Yeah, how often do we see that exactly?
And this was both of his parents and just like how they both see him. And it was really nice getting both perspectives. I thought that was really beautiful.
And both his parents are really different.
They remind me of Clanad's parents. Nagisa's parents a lot.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, no, but I really like them, especially the mom. I thought she was going to be best girl this season at some point.
Okay.
I had a theory as well that the reason that Subaru was transported to this new world was because his mom was actually one of the witches.
Okay.
And that it was Satella getting revenge for something that she did. It was just a random theory that I had. Didn't end up panning out. It wasn't the case, but it would have been cool.
Did you have any like backup to this theory, or just like a random thought?
I don't know what it was. I think it was after seeing like 3 of the witches and how quirky they were. Sort of reminded me of her.
Okay, I can see that. I get that.
Yeah, so it was really a shot in the dark. I didn't think it was actually going to be the case, but I thought it would have been mind-blowing if that was actually something that had happened.
His parents are very anime-y, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Very animated, very like fun.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like very strict and stuff, so they were fun characters.
They were really cool, yeah. Anyway, just to say that I really liked that episode, and I thought that the first trial was really, really cool.
Yeah, I don't even think he gets to like the second one, does he?
I think he does.
Or like he starts it? I think he starts it, but he fails, or like he loses, or like he dies right after, so he has to redo it.
I can't remember what the second trial even is. Wasn't it Carmilla disguising herself as Rem? I feel like that was part of it.
Yes, that was it.
Okay.
Yes. But the thing that I wanted to talk about, because you're saying like you almost cried for one scene that really got to me is when he was able to tell Echidna about like, his power.
Dude, I had to pause the episode.
I felt like I had a weight like come over me, because I was just like, I feel for you, Subaru, like more than like a lot of anime characters.
Yeah.
Just, like I get that. I understand that so much. Like you're free to like finally get this off your chest. It was awesome.
Which is why I was so surprised. Well, it kind of makes sense because of Beatrice, right? But I was so surprised that he didn't take her deal in the last episode.
Yeah.
Or the second to last episode. It was like she is a way for him to vent, and she's the only person that he can speak to about what's been happening. And yet, even with that, even with her sort of being his salvation, he decided against taking the deal with her because he understands how malicious her deals are.
Yeah.
And I like that. Who was it that was like, don't do it, it's a bad idea?
Minerva, I believe.
Yeah, it was Minerva. Minerva was the first to speak out. She's like, no, don't take her deals. Her deals are wicked.
I guess we can talk about the witches themselves.
I think that's one of the biggest points for sure. And I think that's probably what one of the images that you guys see in the thumbnail.
We get Echidna like a lot. Like crazy a lot this season, and she's definitely the standout.
She's new best girl.
Yeah, I really love her.
Yeah.
She's really fun, and like she has like this malicious side to her. But the other witches are just as fun. Like Minerva, she's hilarious. She's like very like shonen kind of.
Yeah.
Or like magical girl kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the feel you get
Really
from
like
her.
that. Sekhmet's my favorite design-wise.
Yeah, I think hers is really good. Yeah, it makes sense for Sloth. I like Daphne's as well. Daphne looks like she's like chained up because she's just gonna eat everything.
Daphne, the design reminds me of something else, but I can't think of it right now. It kind of reminds me of like Misa from Death Note when she's all like tied up when she's being interrogated.
Oh, sure. She reminds me of a character from Shaman King, but you haven't watched it, so.
No, but new series for Shaman King's coming out.
Yeah. Well, it's just a reboot.
Yeah, but it might be better.
Yeah.
Maybe like the pacing will be better. Typhon, the one with the green hair, the lolly.
I didn't really like her. Not a fan.
She's fun.
She's okay. I like that she pulled his arm off. That was hilarious. I thought something like was badly animated when that happened.
Oh my god, yo, that was nuts. That was a crazy scene.
It looked so weird. I was like, what's happening? And then I see that his arm is actually disconnected. So good.
Carmilla Lust, she's adorable. She reminds me of Sumi from freaking Rental Girlfriend.
Yes. No, she's great. She's so cute. Love her. The biggest character change, though, that we had all season, if we're not talking about the witches anymore, would have to be ROSWAAL.
Yeah, okay, because I knew right away he knew. Like, you could tell.
Yeah.
But then when he revealed it, I was like, okay, he's revealing this soon? Okay.
Dude, when he killed Rom.
Yeah. I was like, thank you.
Why?
No, I like Rom.
She's great. She's great. You know, from the moment we met him, I knew something was up with him.
Of course, dude. He was like,
He
can't
looks
trust this guy.
bad. Like, he just looks
Yeah, he
bad.
looks like a villain.
Yeah.
But now it's confusing me because he's saying that Subaru is gonna become like him, you know? So I'm like, does he have life after death or like?
No, I'm not sure exactly what he means by that.
Yeah, it's a little confusing because I think he means like dedicating yourself to like one goal.
Yeah, which in his case is Echidna, right? And whatever's in that tome.
Yes.
And with Subaru, it would be dedicating himself to Emilia.
Putting her on the throne, like that's what you have to do.
So now that we know that he hired Elsa to go and kill...
Elsa's best girl. I'm so happy she's back. Dude, when she slices Subaru's body and his guts are everywhere, I'm like, she's back. I was so happy.
Yeah, it's great she's back. I actually recently watched Giguk's video, ReZero in like 5 minutes or 7 minutes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And there's a joke where it's like, you'll see me again as she departs, and then literally on the screen it says, literally does not show up ever again, which was true in the first season when he made it.
It was.
So it is good to see her again.
Oh, and there's like the girl from like the farm. She's also like teaming up with like Elsa. That was like a surprise.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I didn't remember her too much. I remembered Petra, but I didn't remember her.
Yeah, same. Because the cool thing now is like we talked about this about Food Wars before when we did our video a few months ago, but it's like we're returning to anime now, and we got to kind of remember all these old things because usually we like binged all their other anime, right?
Yeah.
Like we can watch the entire series because it was out, and like we didn't catch up. So now we have to do like we're like the normal person now waiting for the season to come out. So
yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah, it's interesting. And when there's big year gaps, like 3 years in this case, between seasons,
it's huge.
You have a tendency to forget non-main characters pretty easily.
For sure. And like we watched ReZero a year or 2 years ago, I think.
2 years ago, yeah.
A lot of the big story points I forgot, but I did watch a recap video.
Okay.
And I like caught up on everything. I'm like, oh yeah, the white whale, Felix, all that stuff.
Anyway, as I was saying, now that we know that ROSWAAL hired Elsa to go to the mansion, I'm thinking, did he also hire her to get the insignia, right? Because that's what Felt stole from Emilia in the first episode.
Oh yeah.
Right, was an insignia that Subaru tried to get back. Did he hire her to get that? And if so, why if they're already close? Like, what is his end goal with Emilia?
They have that book.
Right.
I forget what it's called. END.
Sure.
I'm a little confused on what that book is. Like, can you enlighten me on it?
It's basically a Bible. Anybody that is a witch cultist has that book. Yeah,
what's his face? What's his face? The guy who like killed Rem last season.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Beetlejuice. Yeah, I don't think that's his name, but yeah, let's call him Beetlejuice.
No, well, it's Betelgeuse.
Yeah,
was his actual name, but I think he's heavily inspired by Beetlejuice. So yeah, they have that. I think just all of the witches cultists and I forget what they're called, the Sin Archbishops. That's what they are.
Yes. Okay.
So basically, like the right hand, I guess you could say, to the witch in question. Each of them has one of those books. But now we know that both Beatrice and ROSWAAL have one. So that means that they're both Sin Archbishops in a way, but it's different with them because they just made like a pact with Echidna. Like if you ingest any part of her body, right?
Yeah.
Like her fluids, like Subaru did, then you automatically have a pact formed. So I'm assuming that's probably what happened with them. Although Beatrice is a spirit, so I don't know how that would work. Either way, that's basically what the book is. It's a Bible, and it tells you what the witch wants of you, I think.
Because I thought it was like, it was telling your future.
No, in Beatrice's case, that's what she believed.
Oh, yes, you're
right.
And
she was following the book, and in a way...
But there was no answer to her question because there was no conclusion. That was so sad.
The book didn't actually contain anything. It was just what Echidna told her, right? Wait for the person.
And then she had to pick the person, but she didn't know she had to pick the person, so she just kept waiting.
That's so...
Pretty evil.
That's horrible. So, I mean, Echidna, while she's super cute and has amazing moments, she's also still a witch. And we really find that out in the second to last episode, yeah.
Since we first saw her, it's like, you can't trust her. She's a witch. And, like, people are scared of witches in the series, so it makes sense why.
Or in this world, rather. Sure, yeah.
This world, yeah.
Now, let's talk about Satella, because I think she was a character that everybody was waiting for. And I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit underwhelmed with how she showed up and how she is.
I was like, already? This is happening now?
Yeah, I was surprised too.
Because I remember Subaru, I think it's after he has like a meeting with Echidna, he like wakes up the temple,
Yeah.
and there's just like shadow hands everywhere, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
Satella's here.
Yeah.
And like it made for a good shock value moment for sure.
Yeah,
And
I wasn't expecting to see her.
There's a lot of good shock moments this season, but
Yep.
she looks just like Emilia.
Which we know,
Just like-
right, from the first episode or the second episode, is because
Yeah.
Emilia says that she faked her name as Satella. She told Subaru Satella was her name because people believe that she looks extremely similar to Satella.
Yeah, and now it's like confirmed.
Yeah. So a lot of the prejudice against her comes from that. So, yeah, when we see her, she does look pretty much exactly like Emilia. Wouldn't be surprised if she's her twin or something. But
I don't know about twin. I'm thinking they might be the same person, kind of.
you know, I thought that too.
Or like maybe a reincarnation? I don't know.
I thought maybe like, because we don't actually see Emilia when Subaru wakes up in the temple. So I thought maybe, but wasn't it Ryuzu that turned into Satella?
Ryuzu's who? The guy?
The elf,
Like
the one
with pink hair?
yeah, the one that has a binding contract with
a bunch of clones.
Yeah, I thought it was her that was possessed by Satella. When we actually look at her, she looks like Emilia, so it's kind of hard to tell in the show because it's really dark in that scene too.
Yeah.
I felt like maybe Satella is a spirit that lives in Emilia.
Okay, and like
That was another theory that I had, was that Satella was lying dormant within Emilia, or maybe Emilia, because like, you know, her first trial, she has to deal with her past like Subaru did.
yeah, and she wasn't able to get through it at all.
And she's freaking out.
Yeah.
I think it's because she actually, in a way, is Satella,
Yeah.
but not right now, right? As she is now, she's not the Witch of Envy.
yeah.
So I think that might be it. Anyway, going past the first shock moment of seeing her, when we do see her again is in the last episode, right?
Yeah.
She's not at all what I was expecting.
She wasn't even that threatening.
She wasn't threatening, and she's not making sense. Like, everything that she's done to Subaru doesn't line up with what she's saying.
Yeah, because she's like in love with him, right?
Right. And
But what does that even mean?
She's doing
Like-
anything to make him love himself. Which, as we found out earlier in the season from the first trial, is a big problem that Subaru has, is that he hated himself.
Yeah, exactly.
So her objective is to make him love himself. And I think that she gave him return by death because it was the only way to make him love himself. It's kind of forced in a way.
Yeah, like to keep reliving until you
Yeah.
finally get that good outcome that you want.
Exactly.
So it's kind of
And you
that's
should be
kinda
the
weird,
first
because then-
person that you're concerned about, right?
concerned about, but like if you're always like redoing it, you don't really learn, and it's kind of being forced upon you to love yourself. It's not coming naturally.
Yeah, but I mean, again, Satella's a witch, right? So she's going about it her way.
Yeah, her view is like skewered
Yeah.
compared to like how a human and humanity would work.
Yeah.
Um,
Now-
I get that.
One thing that I don't understand about Satella is that all the other witches sort of meet their sin. They're characterized really well by their sin, right? Echidna is greed, and she wants all the information in the world.
Yeah. So envy.
Yeah.
Satella's envy. So like, is she envious for Emilia because Emilia's out there in the open and like she's able to interact with Subaru whenever?
I want to know what she's envious of, exactly. If we look at Full Metal Alchemist,
Yeah, Envy wanted to be human.
Envy...
Spoilers.
No, that was greed. No, wait. Yeah, Envy wanted to be human, exactly, and greed wanted friends. Yeah, Envy sort of wanted the same thing as greed as well, to be human and to have friends. Was envious of what humans had. So what does Satella have to be envious of?
Can she even interact with Subaru without like killing him?
Well, she did in...
The witch's world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So I don't know about in the actual reality.
Sure, maybe not. Or maybe my theory stands and she does live within Emilia, but like can't come out.
But when she did come out, like all that evil stuff was coming out of her. So like
Right.
maybe she's cursed. She'll have to like break that curse, and maybe Subaru's able to. I don't.
Here's a theory. She killed all of the other witches, right?
Did she? I don't
Yes,
remember.
yes. It is said that she killed every other witch.
Okay.
What if her curse is that she has to kill people? And what if the one way that she can like make the curse stabilize is by killing Subaru if ever he says anything? I don't know. It's a weird theory, but it's kind of like
I think it's more of a romantic reason. This is one of my theories that I just came up with when we were talking. Is like maybe she's like an Emilia from one of the futures that failed.
Lucy style. Okay.
Because we see in one episode the futures that happen after Subaru dies, and that's
Right.
one of the best scenes in the entire series.
Sure,
Seeing
yeah.
all these moments, and you're, like when Rem's like good riddance or something, there's like dead body. I was laughing.
Yeah, yeah.
But like maybe in one of those time periods, like Emilia becomes corrupted, and then she learns some magic and is able to like go to the past and like bring him back and like fix everything.
But that doesn't make sense because she killed all the witches. So when would that have happened?
Okay, she killed the witches before everything. Okay.
Before Subaru yeah, exactly.
Oh my
Before
God.
Subaru even shows
well,
up.
Look, this is time travel, right? Kind of.
Yeah.
Like different dimensions. So she might have went to in like one dimension where the witches aren't dead and Subaru dies. Then she goes back, kills all the witches. Like
Wow,
that.
this is really a stretch. But yeah, this isn't a theory video, but
Well, this is just what I'm thinking. Like, look, it's Steins Gate in my brain right now.
sure. Yeah, it's like every anime ever right now. I'm making a lot of references to a lot of different anime right now because a lot of things could be true here. A lot of theories are possible, but I feel like we're given a lot of dead information a lot of the time. And like even when it's cleared up later, it still feels like unsatisfying. I don't know if you know what I mean.
Kind of, but I think what you're trying to say is like during certain like timelines, we learn about Roswell or about like
Sure, yeah, that's one of the
and then-
examples.
and then they die, and then you come back, and we don't really use that information, right? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, like a lot of that happens, sure. A lot of times it's negligible information, but what I mean is like the one thing I feel that ReZero doesn't do too well is it doesn't set up big reveals properly. Like it doesn't have the right build up to big reveals. Right? I feel like a lot of other anime are really good at that. But ReZero sort of falters, and I think it's because it spends so much time sort of like looping back and forth with Return by Death that you're sort of losing a lot of context and information because you're in a new loop.
That's what I like, though, about ReZero, is that you have to put these puzzle pieces together.
Yes, but at the same time, it's like, why should I care about the previous puzzle pieces if you're introducing new, unrelated ones now? You know, and especially with this season, what I found happened a lot was that sometimes he went to the mansion, sometimes he didn't. Sometimes Garfield was upset, sometimes he wasn't. And it was very hard to like understand what situation we're in. And sure,
Yeah,
it's
but
probably
I
harder for
feel that-
Subaru, but
Yeah, exactly. But I think that perfectly reflects what's happening in Subaru, especially with Garfield, because at one timeline, Garfield's like, hey, you should have done the trial. So then Subaru's like, oh, next time I do this, I'll tell him I want to do the trial. And then he gets kidnapped and like thrown into a dungeon.
Yeah.
And you're like, why? But I like that because like you never know what's going to happen.
yeah,
You-
Garfield's a wildcat. A wildcat? No, a wild card.
Subaru's gotta like play his cards so right.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like you're always on the like edge of my seat because I have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, but a lot of times it's not so much. I like not knowing what's gonna happen. I don't like not knowing what the hell's happening. You understand?
But I feel like they explain it later, like with like last season with Puck, when you see Puck as like a giant destructive beast.
Yeah.
You learn about what it is later on. So I feel like maybe this is half of the season, so maybe we don't have all the answers yet, and they may reveal everything else.
I don't know.
In the second half.
Maybe I'm just stupid and I don't understand a lot of what's being said. Because for me, I don't know, reading the subtitles, I'm like lost sometimes. And it's a problem that I've had with ReZero from the very beginning, is that a lot of things just don't contextually make sense to me. I don't know if it's better in the light novel.
Okay, so I kind of get what you're saying, because sometimes they don't really explain concepts, because I was confused about the book, remember? So,
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
So like nothing's like solidified in my mind, but that might just be me not caring as much or like not paying attention as much.
Yeah.
But I believe also because it's like a light novel, and we've seen this with other light novels such as A Certain Magical Index, that
Yeah.
a lot is left out.
Yeah.
So maybe we're missing information or context.
I know that is the
And,
case, absolutely, because I've watched videos or I've seen videos on YouTube come up that are like, what was missing from this episode? What was missing from that episode?
For
For ReZero specifically, yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting.
So there
we're
is
definitely missing much.
There is some context missing, or some. There's not a lot of key plot points missing, but there's like subtext a lot of the time that's missing. So I feel like it's easy to get lost with this series. I don't have this problem with other series. I never really get lost. And you look at something like Steins Gate that's super complicated and hard to keep up with, and it's a complaint that a lot of people have, and I didn't have an issue. Not once figuring out what was going on. With ReZero, I love the series, don't get me wrong, but it's a lot of times I'm not understanding what is going on or what's being said.
I'm like a little bit of both. Like I pretty much knows what's happening, but sometimes I'll be like, huh?
Yeah.
But I also feel like it's not done. I'll wait till it's like the season's over and like analyze it again and be like, okay, they were just like setting up these plot points, because we've only been given half a season, so we're not gonna be given all the information yet. Definitely like Monogatari like can be super confusing sometimes.
I don't like them splitting this up into parts. Yeah, Monogatari is definitely one of the ones that's like mind blowing. But I don't like how they split this up into two parts. Why can't you just do a season 2, season 3? Because I don't want to have to call it season 2 part 2. Okay, that's just a complaint that I have.
Because it's not that much of a wait. It's like one season worth. And I feel spoiled. I feel spoiled because I'm like, okay, we're getting another 12 episodes, so I'm happy.
Yeah, and I guess it's kind of a weird place to end the season as well, on Otto's punch.
God. If it ended there, I'd be pretty depressed.
It doesn't feel like a season ender. You know what I mean?
No, because he has to accomplish at least this area for it to feel like the end of the season.
Yeah, he has to conquer the sanctuary. He has to beat the trials. He has to get Emilia to finish the trials as well, I feel. Yeah. But I don't know, ROSWAAL doesn't want that anymore, right? He doesn't care if she does or not, or he says that Subaru shouldn't care if she does or not.
Yeah, I think he just wants her to get out.
And like only her, right? And he doesn't want him to save Rem or anybody back at the mansion, Frederica.
No, I think he's just like, she has to come first. I don't think he cares if the others die. Like, I don't think he's like actively wants them to die.
That's the thing.
But
he wants Subaru's resolve and fixation to be absolute.
Emilia, yeah, I'm just saying that he doesn't want like Petra to die. ROSWAAL doesn't want Petra to die. He's just being like, she's gonna die, and you got to deal with that because Emilia comes first.
Yeah.
There's one scene I want to bring up. Just because it was terrifying.
Yeah.
And that's the bunny scene.
Yeah.
Oh
Everybody had the
God.
same reaction. I wasn't as terrified by it because I've seen Subaru die in very gruesome ways already. And this was sort of just like a, whoa, okay, that's interesting. What the fuck's going on here?
It's the second time he dies from the bunny that got me.
Why?
When he goes to see Emilia and he's like bleeding everywhere.
Yeah.
But like he's still walking to her, and then you see his body and it's all tore up. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. And
like,
then
how did he get to her?
And then he dies. Yeah, exactly. How the hell did he do it? But
that will he's learning will for Emilia. Looks like it.
I guess sure. Yeah. Let's talk about our little waifu war. So obviously Rem's sort of absent from this season. Yet I still want to argue that Rem kind of did more than Emilia still.
Yeah, I'm with you. Emilia didn't do anything this season.
All she did was cry. And like
failed.
worry and failed and worried about like not being able to complete the trial. That's literally all she was here for.
Yeah, and Rem was more like,
in the first episode, she was like, I'm gonna defend everybody, and she actually like puts up a fight or whatever.
His memories of Rem like help him throughout like the trials and stuff, because he's like, oh, I gotta be a hero for Rem.
To be fair, in the first trial, when he's remembering Rem, he also remembers Emilia, right? It's not just Rem, but I feel that Rem in that moment is a little more significant, but it is both, right? He does remember both. But yeah, I don't like that our main female character is not, she's more in the spotlight this season, but purely because Rem's in a fucking coma.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And we're in the sanctuary where we're kind of stuck there. I'd like to see Emilia do more.
And I think we will get that, because we also have to do like not the coronation, but the whole like voting system for like their new queen emperor. I forget.
Yeah, something like that.
And I think that's when we're going to get a lot of Emilia.
Yeah, but I don't want it to be that late. Like, there needs to be some focus on her earlier in the story. I'm sorry. Because up until now, pretty much the only thing that Emilia has done is save Subaru in the first episode.
And head pat.
That's it. Like, give me something else. I want to see more of this girl and what she's capable of.
Yeah, of course, but I don't know. Maybe that's not her storyline. Maybe she's not as competent or like as capable. That's the word I'm looking for.
I guess
as much as Rem is.
I mean, she's
Rem was born as a fighter.
Yeah,
right?
I guess Emilia is a lot more of a disturbed character in a way.
And like she's more political. She's more for the politics of this like series.
Yeah. I guess.
So I don't really see her being like heroic and like fighting alongside Subaru. Like,
sure, okay, fine. But even then, I'd still like to see more of her, period.
Yeah, same. And we did get a lot of her because I remember that one scene where she was like kind of creepy. I don't know if you remember that one where she was like, "Oh, Subaru, I'll take
where
care
he
of
shows
you."
up and he's all bloody, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the same scene.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was the
because
same
like she's become so reliant. We've seen that she's become so reliant on Subaru.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
Emotionally, it's like starting to happen. So like it's having this negative effect on her.
Mm-hmm.
Like as Subaru is like, "Oh, you need me. I'm the guy. I'm gonna protect you," and all that stuff. And now she's starting to believe it, but it might have negative connotations later on, or like it's already happening.
Yeah, you see, this is why I'm kind of so perplexed by the fact that you like Emilia more, is because she gives me a lot of damsel in distress vibes.
No, I just like her design more.
Okay, no, that's fair. Sure, her design, I think, arguably is better than Rem's, but as a character, I don't like Lucy's, and she's really starting to feel like a Lucy to me. And the more the series goes on, the more and more Subaru's going to be able to actually help her, defend her, protect her. Intrinsically, that just makes her character worse.
I wouldn't say worse. I just feel like her character's not meant to be capable and to be like this hero. Like I feel like maybe she has to like learn how to get to that point, because right now it kind of feels like she was thrown into being into this politics a bit by like ROSWAAL.
Yeah, I get that.
So like I don't think she's prepared for like all these things that are happening to her.
I suppose.
And I feel like her story is going to be so intertwined with Satella. That's what her story is all about. It's not about like being like a courageous hero or anything like that.
Yeah, to be fair, for the first 2 seasons, we have focused heavily on Subaru.
Yeah.
Like, he is our MC, and all of the focus is on him.
And we focus a lot on Rem during that season as well.
Season 1, yeah.
Yeah, season 1, it's all Rem. And like season 2 was all Subaru pretty much. And like,
yeah.
And I like that we got more of his backstory.
Yeah, I think he's pretty well developed as a character at this point, and he's still growing.
It felt very strong for Subaru this season. I like the season. I think I preferred season 1. It felt more complete.
Well,
that's
because this one isn't complete. But
exactly. So I'm gonna see how I feel at the end of this season.
Yeah, we won't have to wait too long. It's only a month and a half, 2 months away.
Yep,
2 months away. Yeah.
So this is going on pretty long. I don't have much else to say. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Don't worry, I'll cut it down quite a bit. We'll have hopefully like a 30-minute video, but by this point, no promises though. You might already be at the 35-minute mark. I don't know, guys, but thank you either way. If you have made it to this point, thank you very much for watching another one of our discussion videos
on Otaku.
Yes, on Otaku, exactly. We got to start saying welcome to Otaku at the beginning now that we actually have the official branding. But
yeah, Jordan made that beautiful little logo. Love it.
Oh shucks, it's not that great, but it's it'll do for now until we get something even more grandiose and better. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you for being here, sticking it out to the end. If you are here, if you are hearing my voice right now, thank you. And
let us know what you think about the series too.
Yeah. Or the season specifically.
Or the season specifically. Do not spoil stuff. Me and Jordan are anime only.
Yeah, so absolutely.
Do
not
spoil anything about the visual novel.
Yeah.
Or I will be depressed.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. And make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, if this is your first time on the channel. Or otherwise, make sure to check out all our socials in the description down below. That's our Twitter, our Instagram, and especially our Discord server if you want to come and talk to us. And anything else to say?
We'll see you next week, hopefully, for the next discussion.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.